Hello viewers, I'm SP and welcome back to Endless Legend, where our position's a little strange, I'll admit it. We built this army and we had all these ideas. We had such dreams. And I don't think that things have turned out the way I thought they were going to turn out at all. But to be perfectly honest with you, I think our position is pretty good, despite. I think that things have mostly worked out. What is this? Okay, this is, yeah, fine, expected, totally warranted. So now we have a couple of Urkins. Khazar is already level 2, already has pretty decent combat stats, 1800 life. And actually Fakir is probably looking pretty good too with the 50% life boost from Khazar. That's great news. This is wonderful. So yeah, we didn't use our army in the way that I expected we would, but we still used it, for sure. Let's figure out a safe spot to tuck Khazar so that he's not reclaimable. I mean, the way we could manage that is the closing of our borders and just make sure we don't put Khazar in a place where he can be attacked from the outside. But we are approaching turn 60, and it would be really neat to have an actual empire plan for maybe the first time ever. Like, this is totally doable, right? Yeah, and it's probably not if we pay 120 or whatever influence to close borders on the Mycera. So what we probably do is uproot Fakir, move Khazar to this location. I don't know where we put you to keep you safe, though, because we don't have that many cities around here. We could plant you there so that you're still affecting Onderin and Emosi, but I really, really want Khazar and the food bonus to apply to as many of our cities as possible. We also have to actually buy this, obviously, but that's a thing that's very doable. Yeah, so we're going to lose some income, but we have 4 cities that are affected by the food bonus, and I think that's probably worthwhile. And over here, at least we still have like some city garrisons to help play defense. But we may have to do a closed borders or something to keep things like really safe. Khazar does not have the ability to migrate. He was migrated here too recently. Okay. Well, what we can do with Khazar is just hoof it, right? Friend has some mighty large hooves. Sure, he'll get where they're going real fast. Okay. Are we setting up for violence against the Mycera? Potentially. It's a big city, and it's got big walls. We could hire a spy, potentially, to help with this. Wow, we really did lose a lot of income from moving you over. They're at an Orient, they're both producing a lot of money, just sort of naturally. Well, we are going to have to figure that out. That is a real problem. That said, the things that we're building in these cities are super important, and maybe we just eat the loss for a couple of turns. Oh, right, an important question. Yes, good, okay. Saving and reloading did, in fact, create the ability to build this wine extractor. Do I buy it out? Yeah, because what this building does effectively for us in the situation we're in right now, what this building does is mine 2 wine and 1 gold per turn, right? So, oh, and the city still has so many other things to build. Okay, I know we're in a little bit of a money crunch here, but yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And then, gosh, we have so much stuff to figure out. Yeah, things are going to get a little weird for a minute here as we work this all out. And I want you to... I mean, at some point we have to clear out these miners. Best we do it not during the winter, because that winter effect is going to happen every winter from now on. Plague of Savagery is probably going to be active, and there's really not much we can do about that. I'm a little leery of moving too far away from our other Urkin, but we probably don't really have a choice. Yeah, alright, let's, what is the best way? Eesh. Is this all... Yep, big inconvenient cliff network, right? I remember this. It did turn out to be the case that it would not have been trivial to walk our settler around to this settling location, so I'm glad we made that move the way we did. Well, this gives us the opportunity to search the temple ruin down here on our way past, so that's cool, I guess. Yeah, okay. Everybody's doing important stuff. Next turn, we can plant Khazar in the region at least, if not exactly in the right location. But I want to make sure we get him into our border as quickly as possible here, because there could be Mycera troops in this area. We don't actually know where they all are. Are you mad? Aggression goads us into anger. Yeah, that's fair. I'd be mad. Okay, our wine booster has run out, which is real inconvenient. We've been attacked by some randos, which is not as inconvenient. That's a big who cares. This city is at 20% approval, and we cannot afford to put the population onto industry. Okay, we've put ourselves in a little bit of a spot here. We probably don't need to manual this, but just in case, I'm always leery with archers, you know? So let's make sure that they have no way around. I guess if I do something more like this, yeah, that's pretty good. Any archer who wants to slither up here and fight the hero face to face, I think should be encouraged to do so. Yep, that seems like a fine plan. Just knock one out as quickly as possible. Ooh, I'm surprised that the circular attack hits uphill like that. That's really interesting. I don't think that I knew that that worked that way, and that could potentially be useful in the future. Okay, you do not have the movement necessary to harass me over here, which is excellent news. Well, we can search this from here. Alright, you may as well grab some pearls for me. So, okay, these are getting finished, and then maybe we can pop these populations back onto dust for a while, because it's real bad. The situation we're in economically is, like, pretty not viable. Alright, please tell me I just find, like, 600 dust in this ruin somehow. Oh, there goes our booster as well. I think we are definitely refiring the glass steel. Need that money very, very badly. Okay. Wait, did that not? There we go. Yeah, my command got eaten there. Well, this is a dangerous moment for everybody. Also, okay, so we went from truce to Cold War with you. You're mad that I'm threatening you with an Urkin, and also you're mad that I burned that fungal bloom. That happened a while ago. Yeah, I think we can definitely bump some bodies back over to dust production here. Probably wise. And then the way that there are brown troops moving around in our area, I think it might be a good idea to just throw up some defenses. We could just build troops instead. And it's probably better to build troops instead, actually. You know, the infantry canteen is free, and infantry is a troop. Yeah, maybe that's what we should be doing instead here. It's going to be 2 turns before we're ready to start building our Imperial highways. So if we do the infantry cantina, we're not actually going to spend all that time. Yeah, you know what? Just produce archers. It's fine. We can jam in the infantry cantina basically for free at some other point. How much would it be to close my borders to you? Because I really don't like you being in my territory. It's 140? Okay, as things stand right now, we are going to be just north of 300, and we need to be... I don't know how we put together a large enough amount of dust to make this work. Or a large enough amount of influence to make closing borders and still hitting the Empire plan work. Also, they're constructing a wonder that is just going to increase the value of having at their city. I mean, I'm getting my own hero over here in the area, so maybe the deal is we just let them try to come for the Urkin and we crush them. The thing is, what we want to do with our hero is, like, move over here and actually close off this quest, right? It's not urgent, but it is a source of XP. Yeah, I guess it's fine. We'll run our military up, and we'll just see about dissuading them that way, perhaps? And now that you have actually put your roots down in this region, we do, for sure, want to make sure we have this skill. Did it not? Did I unlock the... I thought for sure I had... Okay, it's fine. We'll just buy more wine next turn. I mean, we're going to get some. Then we have to also buy... It's good for us to have the skill that apparently I misclicked on. I don't know how I did that. They're totally different circles. Does not sound completely completely out of line for me, if we're all being honest. But yeah, Khazar's gathering from here, so we'll get some, and then we'll buy the other 12. This is fine. Because we gotta buy a lot of wine, because I do also want to run the wine booster, right? Like, okay. Alright, we have been attacked. Okay, somebody did this thing. Cool and good for them. They are actually going to bring in those reinforcements, huh? Well, do we even want to include Khazar? Because I certainly don't want Khazar to get hit. I guess let's include him because I do want him to potentially get XP. But we have to be aware of these things. They're actually quite dangerous. So I think what we're going to do is... They are dangerous, but they have very, very poor movement. So we just have to make sure that we rain hell on them from a safe distance all of the time. And probably nobody goes to melee. That's my feeling on that. Sorry. None of our real units go to melee. It is acceptable for the militia to go to melee. It's going to take a lot of arrows to get this job done. Okay, yeah, I definitely need you to make sure you hit that. Don't let that happen again. And also, I'm embarrassed that I let that happen. Just over here completely forgetting about the beam. Actually, I did it again. Okay, they chose not to take advantage of it, which I really appreciate, but I absolutely left a capability there. Yeah, all of the melee troops just run away. We are not in some kind of huge hurry to win a battle here. We can let this be one where we just get a kill or two, and then we wear them down over a couple of combats. That is absolutely fine. So... you two can just hit from here. You're gonna attack like that. And you're no longer stunned, so you can... yeah. Okay. Alright. One militia down, and we gotta watch this approach. That said, I have high hopes that we're gonna actually get some kills here. Yeah, and this is worth XP on our troops and stuff, right? Like this does matter. It is important that our troops level up. Okay. So now we have to, yeah, approach like so. And I think it is not even possible for this guy to reach any of the melee at this point. Like, we don't need to move them around anymore. Alright, if that had turned out not to be a kill, it would have been pretty bad times there. Okay, that is an acceptable outcome. A little non-optimal. I should not have let an archer take any damage, so it's just very poor hands on my part. Oh, right, you're still black spotted. I kind of forgot about that. That's a pretty big deal. You should be careful walking around in other people's territory. Oh, and Fakir is spawning additional lice. Nice and high level. Yeah, good. Okay, you know, so I bought a thing that gives... oh, it's only allied units in the same region only gain the life regen while the Urkin is uprooted. That's a shame. I was gonna say, actually, that healing may have been very wise. So we gotta go to 30 now for these, right? Okay, well that's coming up. We'll get there on the gold. Hopefully be able to buy our way into firing another wine booster soon so that we can get our city happiness above garbage. I'm expecting that this Harmonite will run over and attack us probably. Close to the other thing being built. Oh, it looks like Brown did not get to, or the Mycera did not get to finish building the thing. They are the most benevolent emperor, though. Oh, another army spawned, and it's, I guess, exactly at the reinforcement edge there. Okay, let's deal with this. Hold on, before I forget, who was it that completed the thing? It was Pink. Okay. Pink gets it done is the talk. Alright, well we should have a pretty easy time controlling space on this one, since all of their units are going to have to come in from the reinforcement panels. I cannot, there we go. It had not drawn the zone yet, or our deployment area. Okay, we just have to be smart here. So you are also gonna back up. And you know, it's not a lot of experience, but it is experience. We're getting something out of all this. Can you... nope, you cannot get up that side. You have to come through here. Ah, we just met Pink, apparently, and they're the Alayi. Well, we may try to develop some diplomatic tech on that front, because I think it would be a really good idea for us to know where they are and what they are doing. Alright, not great shooting, everybody. I guess they were in the woods. Okay. Actually, better you move here. Maintains the morale more effectively. Yeah, just like stand over there. And sure, you two run forward. Okay. Alright, we just have to manage this approach a little bit. I guess I just back up. Have you two stay focused over here. Oh, actually, never mind. You can stay right where you are. The militia are fast enough to get in position and do something about it. Okay. Interesting to see this one still running in that direction. I wonder, is it planning to go after the demon? Is that its move? That's very strange to me. All right, this all seems fine. Well, apparently I need to put that Irkin on hold position mode. Okay. I don't know what your sinister plan is here, but let's get that under control. Oh, okay. I had given you too complicated of a move. Here we have to be a little cautious. This is fine. God, it's nice to have units that have 4 range. Okay, there we go. We have finally cleared the area. And, you know, 10 XP per unit. Like, our normal units are getting some love here. We're gaining some space on the heroes. Every bit of XP counts, on an Irkin especially, so. Don't know where those Mycera armies disappeared to. It's a little worrying. Yeesh. Stuff is expensive. Well, I mean, this is going to give us approval. Or, I mean, yes, it gives us approval. It's also going to give us industry, because it's going to give us an approval level. So I suppose it's a thing worth focusing on. Yeah, you keep building that stuff. Down here, we're going to do right-of-way in these cities, and that is going to do so much very good work for our overall financial situation. So now that we've formally met the Allow You player, they're just running their Skyfin all over the place. Awful lot of vine snakes here, and most of them not very well statted. What are you doing, Brown? Huh. Let's just grab some information real quick. Sorry, that's not what I wanted. Okay, you're not at war with anybody that we can see. I mean, Pink must be. Pink is fighting someone. Our military strength is, like, up in the neighborhood of the other players. Interesting to note that we're rated as much more militarily powerful now with the Irkins than the Mycera are, which suggests that perhaps we could just roll them and take their incredibly powerful city. Maybe that is, in fact, the perfect move. Is it time to learn how to make friends? Probably. We don't have a lot of influence to play with, so it's going to be tricky. See, I want to go down there and put this to an end, but I am so worried that shenanigans are going to occur. I mean, Fakir is strong. And he's got lots of backup. I bet we can handle it. Let's go get more level ups for our heroes and stuff. We can collect the spare troops that have been constructed over here and add them to the stack. Yeah, this is all extremely doable. And we don't quite have the money to buy enough wine right now, I think. Yeah, but next turn we'll only need to buy 9. We'll also have enough resources to pop the gold at the same time. That's going to be very helpful. We have a lot of structures right now. Done a lot of building up, so gold is going to add a lot of dust per turn. I am real uncomfortable about this, though. Like, is this an Urkin hunting force, or are they planning to... Concerning. It's very concerning stuff. Wait, why was I think I need to get to 15? I have to get to 30 wine, which is not necessarily an easy thing to do. All right, hold on a second. What is... They're absolutely either going for the Urkins or going for the Mycera. Okay. We have reason to congratulate ourselves. Jasa Murdap is slowly getting good at the job. The next stage of our faction quest wants us to capture the city of Auriga. Is that? We've lost vision of it. That's ARA. I think Auriga was the name of this region. Now I'm wondering if I need to turn my force around here. Yeah, all right. The other thing's just gonna have to wait. I don't know what Brown is doing, but it cannot be allowed. You know, I don't think we'd actually read this step of the faction quest before. Okay. The source of the feeling of darkness inside me revealed itself. I killed. I, a droid built to heal people, killed. All the suffering, all the bloodshed I witnessed must have caused something in my mind to snap. I went on a murderous spree. The instruments used to ease pain became tools I used to inflict pain. Countless men and women died at my hands. Thank the gods, but somehow I was stopped and left for scrap in some abandoned place. Oh, maybe we did read this one. If you have played Dungeon of the Endless, this makes a little bit of sense of a contradiction you're probably noticing, because in that game, Opbot is essentially a crazed murderer. Really great at the job. So yeah, we have artifacts and relics studied by Volter scientists have suggested the existence of the legendary Argosy, a near-impregnable fortress their ancestors were driven from after an ancient catastrophe. And it's probably under the city of Auriga. So let's figure that out. Alright, so yeah, at the beginning of this turn, we're just going to rush over there and we're going to launch an attack. And my expectation is that they will retreat on that, because we'll be able to pull both of the Urkins and stuff. But if they don't want to retreat and they want to just like make it an actual thing, I will fight them. I have no qualms about doing so. Oh, my units are not the fastest. Should we just silence this? Probably not. It's not actually dangerous for those things to be spawning. Not like really. Yeah, just everybody get up here. Oh, what am I doing? I'm a Volter. Our holy resource is currently running. We can teleport. Silly me, I'm totally forgetting my powers. And the teleportation has no cost, by the way. It's just a thing you can do as long as you have any holy resource booster running. So that's very good. So I actually need 24 wine to run this booster, which means I still don't actually have enough money. But we will next turn. We are going to mash in this attack. I can't believe I forgot about the teleportation. And remember, during the eclipse, we can teleport not just to cities, but all the way to any army that has a commander. So that's a very powerful effect. Oh no, unwanted oxidation. So any unit that has strategic costs on it has those costs risen by 50% until this is resolved. 40 Palladian has to be distributed to these ruins. We don't have any Palladians, so we don't really get to play. Really feel like that's important. Okay. So yeah, they're going to retreat on this, right? Let's bring in... What is the order we want to do this in? I think Fakir is second. I think we want the first Urkin in right away, because their troops aren't actually very good, and Fakir should be able to do some crushing. Khazar needs to stay back because of the injury. Oh! I am shocked by that. I don't think this is a good idea for them at all. This is cliff? No, that's steppable. Okay. Well, then I might do like this. You're going to get around and attack from the side if I leave the side open. Maybe it's better to do it like this. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, you get an archer if you want an archer really bad, no matter what I do. Why is that your initial... Okay. Fakir thinks we're playing Capture the Flag, I think, is what's happening there. Y'all don't have free counter, so I do think we're going to hard focus everybody except the Urkin on this thing. It will have used its attack already by the time the lice get to do anything. And then I think you move to here and just attack that to lock off the archer a little bit. Urkins famously tend to have pretty poor defense. They get by in combat through having a ton of health, but even our Urkin's pretty poor defense is still going to be totally sufficient for coverage against the Stone Sentinels with their very, very poor attack. So, feel pretty good about that. Okay, not what I was expecting at all. In fact, I gotta say, that move seems wildly terrible. Okay, I think I'm gonna withdraw. I don't actually want the lice to die. Let's step you up to here. You can play a little bit of archer defense. So let's see. You're gonna go. You're just gonna hit there, which is gonna kill this one, and it's gonna lightning through these ones. Probably won't do enough damage to kill you. The louse is going to have moved from this space by then, so you just go up here and... I mean, it's probably just attack that one, right? Even if this one's still alive, we can let the archers figure that out. And you have 2 movement and are not really able to threaten anybody else. So I guess, actually, I don't want you to move all the way over there. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Kind of what we expected. Yeah, I can't believe they thought it was a good idea to fight this. That's really wild. Go ahead and just fall back. I think the ranged units have it on this one. Everybody else can spare their HP. And hooray for the Kekator. They're going to keep coming. They think they can make this work. I cannot imagine why. Alright, you also get a teleport. So teleporting does consume your movement for the turn. I am going to let these ones keep running up the other way. Are you allowed to move into a city and then teleport? Okay. You just need to have any amount of movement left. Alright. Yeah. So... Fakir took a little bit of damage. That'll probably heal off immediately. That louse we have to be careful about, or that unit of lice. I guess it's one unit of multiple lice. But I think we charge the vine snakes. Oh, wow. They position their armies such that they don't even get to reinforce each other. That's terrible. I mean, it's great for us. This definitely makes me think that maybe the next step is we just go claim a bunch of buildings off of Brown, because it seems like they may have accidentally fed me their army. Alright, so we'll lock that up. Capital has roads coming out of it now, and we're about to get... we're going to have an actual trade network. Oh, right, also this stuff. Also, I got to remember to do things. Oh, no, somebody bought a bunch of wine. What a bunch of jerks. Well, that being the case, I guess we only actually need 5 of these. So we'll gain 3 on our next turn. Yeah, inconvenient, but I guess it is the way it is. Alright, so at this point we can probably refocus at least a little bit. We can get some trade going. We're not like desperate for money. Like right this second. Obviously in the long term we are, which is why we need to get the trade going. This has got to be a retreat, right? I'm wondering if maybe it's like their goal is to grab the Urkin, and so they're just like, in their head, they're just like, I will battle the Urkin. I will say yes to any battle that looks like it includes the Urkin, or what? Because I can't imagine what else could be driving these decisions. Okay, we got to remember, circular attack does strike over cliffs, so that's a little dangerous. Who's the one who has the high initiative? Okay, you should be here. Because you can fire immediately from that position without having to walk forward. And then one of them is going to move forward to, like, here. So I guess I'm just going to have you, like, be elsewhere. We don't have to let them get a multi-hit off of their circular attack, right? Okay, I think I'm happy enough with this. So, the smart one gets to be focused immediately. You should try to heal the demon who is just going to hang out. I guess you can't reach the demon, can you? You can only make it to here. Alright, I will pull the demon that way so that this heal may occur. Okay. I think it should be okay. These things have a lot of damage, actually. Let's not use the lice in this combat. Let's save them. But of course the Urkin can get in and do some work. To here, maybe? Just like lock up some of them. He's definitely gonna pull some attention this way. Alright, that's exactly as we expected. Also exactly as we expected. Okay, pretty clean. Do we want to do anything really fancy here? Probably not. Again, let's just not even employ the lice. So... by the end of the round, is that going to be a safe thing to do? I actually don't know. Let's hope so. I was really hoping that would be a kill. Oh, right. It matters a lot less here because these ones all have lower initiative. Oops, I didn't give you a specific heal order because usually support units prefer to use their skill over over doing other stuff, but apparently not in all cases. Okay, well, there's no reason for the melee troops to get involved. Feels very obvious that the the archers are going to handle it. All right, 32 XP. That's a level up on Khazar. We're getting some very high value stuff here. Bonus attack on all units. Hooray! All right, so you get in there. So when we launch this attack next turn... ooh, that's unfortunate. We won't quite get everybody in. 1, 2, 3, 4. If we attack from this angle, I think it'll include Khazar. Khazar will be in the very corner of the box, I believe. Which will be nice. What is going on? Oh, it's a combination of the cliff, and you're in a bottleneck, and that's a ruin. Well, that's just very inconvenient. How are you doing on your 3rd level? You gotta be close. Oh yeah, okay. Cool. Lots and lots of stats on the line here. And then, with Diplomat's Mance, we can maybe have a chat with somebody. Just very strange play from Brown on this one. I don't really know what is guiding this. Want to make sure we can click on them and not have them obscured by our city's nameplate. Okay, now attack before they can move. Did I calculate that right? I sure did. Cool. Well, hold on. We don't have to do this just yet. No. No, thank you. Alright. Establishing some roads. The good news. I mean, I want to be capable of launching a pretty serious attack. So, maybe the right thing to do is to build more Marines? How long do we have left on this booster? It's like 8 turns? Oh, it's 4 turns. Okay, time has passed even faster. So what I'm thinking is maybe we time our next attack with the end of this. We run a titanium booster instead. Most of our troops are still holding titanium weapons, right? So this immediately empowers all of our units, and then we try the crush here. I'm reasonably sure this was Auriga, and even if it's not, it's the Mycera city. It's super valuable. And it will immediately defungify all of our sort of like backfield area here to allow better expansion. It just seems like a really good play, and as such, seems like we probably are going to need some bodies on that. Okay, lots of really, really important buildings getting completed here. We do not have a level 7 hero. Somebody else is at level 7 already. It's probably the Mycera's governor. So, it's like... Deep generator. We only want one more tech from this era for the moment because obviously we want to move up to the better resources very quickly. So it's like deep generator, which is not powerful but is broadly useful, versus like picking up public granary for all of our cities. And we still don't have, gosh, we have a lot of stuff. There's so much tech in the early game that you really, really want. This is another one of the things that I think is like way, way better about Endless Legend than, and Endless Space 2 works this way as well, than about most 4X games, and particularly any 4X game where the technologies are arranged in a sort of a tree formation, is that you're actually making choices here and you end up going up without getting things you want, whereas in a tree game, you always have to get the prerequisites, and like, you know, if you play 200 games of Civilization, your research path in those games is going to be remarkably similar pretty much all of the time. Whereas here, like every single game, you're making these like, which things do I leave behind? What do I have to prioritize? Like, just give me a game that causes me to make decisions, you know, to have to actually make some moderately difficult decisions. I think we're going to go for the deep generators. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to queue up deep generators in every city. Yeah, this will time out really well. We queue up deep generators in every city before we switch the holy resource so that we build them all with glass steel, because we have all of the glass steel we will ever need. Okay. This has got to be a retreat, right? Must be. Yeah, we'll go ahead and leave that marine as the first reinforcement. Nope. They want to do it. All right, they do have 2 bulls this time. All right, sorry about that. So, we do have to position somewhat carefully. 2 bulls is tough. So probably do like this. We put the toughest archers on the outside, and then like sacrifice blocker in the bottleneck here. I apologize, Keikatori. You've done some excellent work for us in the past. You know, it does have more defense than they have attack. It's something. And then, yeah, obviously we are super, super mega prioritizing work on the bulls. So you're probably not really going anywhere. How many do I think we're going to need? It's so hard to know how many to assign to each one. Because anybody who is assigned to a bull and has their bull die is potentially going to then start shooting into the, like, less important troops. And that's annoying. Alright, let's try like this. Okay. Kind of thought that might happen after last time. I was a little surprised by that one, though. I love the fact that when the eyeless ones defend, they, like, you can see they use their magic to put up little shields around themselves. There's so many little touches in these games. You shouldn't die here, but I'm wondering, I think I'm just gonna pull you back. You're a valuable unit, and your presence on this is probably unnecessary. I am gonna have you step up for sure. I don't so much care about their Drider. Well, you know what? That Drider has 69 damage. Thing is actually kind of dangerous. And this thing's in the forest. But like, we do have to get rid of it, though. It's the thing. So you probably don't get to retreat. Wow. Fakir is fast. I forgot how fast Urkins are. Okay, you'll solve that problem. It might have been preferable for you to do some, like, healing there. Here, let's be explicit about it. Please find a way to heal the demon. Demon, your move is to go here. And then I do not want any of the melee troops trying to melee this thing. Nope, not even you. Okay. There is yet another army. This one has the hero. Hi. Is this where you want to be? Is this what you want to be doing at this moment? I think we're going to bump you back to a defensive position, because, like, this is what this army should look more like. Or probably this army should have more melee troops in it, but... So did you... I mean, they must not be going for the Urkin, right? Because if they were, they would just attack now. It must be the case that they don't have their action point anymore. I don't know. Curious. Well, how tough is this army looking? So this one's got 3 Minotaurs. They're not getting a ton of a boost from Makani Che. Makani Che is a reasonably powerful unit in their own right. Yeah, I mean, we do it, right? We make the attack. I'm pretty sure. All right, let's do that, and then we'll make this turn, the last turn of the video, because I do not have additional time today, unfortunately. But yeah, Brown is really just, like, throwing units away for a chance to lay hands on the Urkin. And, like, given the opportunity in combat, it seems like we can use the Urkins to bait their troops into really suboptimal positions. Okay, yep. It is interesting to note that went to an unknown unit, an unknown army, instead of the one that I thought it was going to, an unknown player, rather. Yeah, build me some melee troops. It turns out we may need some melee troops. Might turn out to be a good idea. Okay. So... let's have you be high up. The Kekator can come in right after that, I think. I think that's okay. For the healing. Alright, let's do it. So, how do we want to... oh my. Whose is that? Let me click out of this battle real quick. That's a Guardian. I don't know whose Guardian that was. Okay, it's standing in this tile right now. We'll see after the battle. Interesting. So unfortunately, we don't have any control over which tile the Urkin shows up in. I don't remember if it's going to be the left or the right one. I mean, there's definitely some kind of internal logic that governs this, right? I just don't know how it works. So we may legitimately lose an archer here, just because we can't cover all of the sides. Yeah. All right. Oh right, I had him come in after the shoot. Yeah, I was gonna use my archers as bait, but like they have to be on the battlefield to do that. All right, so you're gonna charge first, and then you're gonna get absolutely hammered. Same deal over here. Gosh, I hope they don't block both of my reinforcement panels. Okay, they don't have the movement to lock them both. Oh no, they totally did. They could have. And it would have been much smarter than killing. Because now we get 2 units in where we should have gotten 0. Because they were not thinking. Alright, well, obviously, kill Minotaurs, have fun. Is there a way to use the cliffs to cheat here? Not the way these units are currently standing. So I'm just going to have you fly back uphill. Actually, fly to here. Do you have 2 movement? You have 3 movement. So... no, fly to here. I think that thing's going to end its turn here, and then next turn we can move to here and attack it down the cliff. And yeah, all of the archers shooting all of the Minotaurs. Yep, there's the one sacrificing itself to the Urkin. You know, honestly, our archers have stood up to those charges remarkably well. I'm very impressed with them. Okay, so what did we lose? 1 there? And that's the only actual unit we've lost at any point. Oh, it's a quest. It's a quest guardian, and not for a quest that I am part of. Yeah, get up toward the good stuff. Okay, so we lost 1 archer over the course of that entire sequence where we killed 4 armies. That feels pretty good. Alright, hold on. Before we make any other decisions, let me march myself over here. No, the city is Achk. Not Emaroya. So I don't actually know where Emaroya is then. Well, you know who's gonna know? So I can't ask for vision at the same time. We have to get into peace and then make the thing. Okay. Do you want some glass steel? Hell yes. Great. Great news. It's not even very much. That rules. Okay. And now I need a vision and map exchange, which is going to cost a couple more turns. Well, no, I mean, just a map exchange would totally do it. And the vision and map exchange will be more expensive to get. So this we're going to have to wait until next turn, because we can't afford to put the second term on the table. But we absolutely can get it. Getting expensive. We'll only have 100 left, and I mean, like, I'm talking like that's not like that's a huge amount, but that is actually just enough to build all of our deep generators. Although we are also going to keep bringing it in over that time. I mean, it's going to be fine. So I'm just going to drop you into safety state here, and I think what we're going to do for this turn is... let's actually end the game after we make that map deal, because we don't know for sure that it will be available in that state. Otherwise, because, you know, the AI and their amazing recalculating brains. Sounds like the dog is having either a great time or a terrible time in the other room. Apologies if all the barking is coming through on the microphone. My housemates kind of like to torture her. You know, like a little bit of torture. It's not necessarily the way I would treat a dog, but it's not like bad. Hi, what are you doing? Do not come over here and do this. Okay, somebody got Somebody got the Ghost Force ring. Good to know. Let's just move you up here. You know what? Actually, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should have bought the other half of the troop discount technology. In fact, yeah, probably. Oh, your feelings are kind of all over the place on how much... You know what? Trade deal in your favor. Friend. Okay, that's a lot of information. Emaroya. Somewhat inconvenient. Also, somebody cashed in the Palladian. Cool. Great work. So, that's really interesting stuff. Who's purple? Purple is the... I guess we knew it had to be purple or blue, right? Because we knew there was somebody black spotting. Or no, we hadn't formally met Red yet either. We didn't know that Red was necrophages until just now. Well, this paints a much more complex picture than I was necessarily expecting. Also, fascinating how much map is left over. Like how broken up the cities are and stuff. So it looks like the necrophages are consuming the Broken Lords. Which obviously poses a long-term existential threat. That's the thing we have to care about, is blue cult. Blue is the cult, yes. Right? This is cult architecture, I think. Yeah. So that partially explains the space thing. Both of the One City factions are in this game. Really interesting. What a fascinating position. All right. That is going to have to be where we call it for today. We have a lot of stuff to do this turn yet, but that can happen next time. And when you come back next time, tomorrow, we are going to have to figure out what to do about some of our neighbors. I got to tell you, I'm pretty disappointed about our faction quest asking us to go 2 ranks deep into an enemy empire. That is not necessarily going to be an easy one to do, but we have just dismantled a pretty large portion of Brown's army, and we can just teleport our entire army from Onderin to Parian, and then... I don't know. It may actually be doable. Come back next time to see if I am being overconfident once again. And we'll see you then.